That wasn't supposed to happen.
Get ready.
They say they need to ban the podcast equipment and take y'all mics away. And oftentimes when I listen, shit, I agree.
For real talk.
Hey, man, just because we know people don't mean that they know things. A lot of us was in the same classes with some of these folks. That don't mean they were passing these classes.
All the time.
It ain't the world leaving you behind, man. It's your line of thinking. You think the science stopped evolving because you stopped learning, and it don't work that way. I couldn't imagine voting for somebody who thinks identifying with me is identifying with a felon. That's crazy as hell. I'm Mr. Spann, and I'm approving these messages. This is the Mr. Spann Official Podcast. Let's go. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Spann Official Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Spann. This is episode number 60 of the motherfucking report. I swear, man, old habits die hard, man. Old habits die hard. This is episode number 60 of the show, not the report. We're not doing the report no more. Damn, Spann, you fucked up. You really fucked up. But no, man, this is episode number 60 of the show, man, and we've been really kind of going at it these last couple of weeks, man, especially since the election and everything happened, and I've been having a little bit more time on my hands since they ain't really working your boy like a goddamn Hebrew slave at the job, so I've been able to pay attention to more shit. And the more attention I'm able to pay to shit, the more I can talk to y'all about some of the stuff that's going on. But of course, before we do all of that, of course, I got to remind you guys how to get in touch with us over here at the Mr. Spann Official Podcast and let your voice be heard. You can go ahead and hit us up at our hotline at area code 313-288-0485. That's area code 313-288-0485. Leave us those voicemail messages. Those messages will get played here and responded to here live on the show. I would normally give you guys the email, but the email, for whatever reason, is acting really fucking funky right now, and I'm not getting those emails. As a matter of fact, shout out to my man Peanut, who alerted me to this earlier today. And when I got home from work, I was trying to fix it and everything, but like for whatever reason, I'm not getting these emails. So if you guys have been sending me these emails, man, please, there are other ways to like send me that feedback. You can leave comments on the YouTube channel. You can leave comments on our Spotify. If you're listening to us via Spotify, you can leave comments there, or you could send me like a direct message on on Instagram and or on Blue Sky. Right. So if you really want to get those messages here and have your voices heard here in that way, until I can figure out what the hell's going on with the email, those are other avenues for you to send those texts, that text feedback. Right. So, yeah, hit me up in those ways, that whether that be on Blue Sky in a direct message, or on Threads as a direct message, or Instagram as a direct message, or leave us a comment on the YouTube channel on the video in which you wanted to talk about, right? So, man, we really appreciate those of you guys who would go about the business of doing that. Also, follow your boy Spann on Threads and Instagram. My name on both of those platforms is Mr._Spann. So go ahead, follow me there. Chop it up with your man Spann throughout the week. If you're on Blue Sky, because apparently Blue Sky is having a really big growth week this week. If you're on Blue Sky, I'm Mr. Spann on Blue Sky as well. There's not the underscore there, but it's Mr. Spann.bsky.social. I think that's my handle there. So yeah, man, go ahead, follow me there. Chop it up with me also on Blue Sky. Also, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and or Spotify. Those 5-star reviews are the ones that get read here live on the show. We really appreciate everybody who does that. Doesn't cost you a dime, just a couple minutes of your time to let everybody know why you're rocking with us over here at the Mr. Spann Official Podcast and the Spann Report Podcast Network in its entirety. And also, man, go ahead and rock out with our store, man. So I will leave the link to our store in the show notes, but you can go ahead and cop yourself a t-shirt, cop yourself a coffee mug, cop yourself a hoodie, because it's getting a little chilly outside, man. And they little, get you some swag, man. Get you some Spann Report Podcast Network swag, man. Our stuff looks good, and it'll look good on you. You know what I'm saying? It'll look good on you. Help me help you look good. Right? No, man, but for those of you who would like to help us in a monetary way, that is one way for you to be able to do that, man. We really appreciate everybody who does that. And yeah, man, so we got the business up out of the way, man, real talk. But it's been a few days since the last time I talked to y'all, man. Like I said, with the way shit been going at work, man, I've been having a lot of, free time on my hands, man. Shit, man, the way shit going at work for me lately, nigga, I'm trying not to fall asleep on the job. like straight up. I never worked like it's weird what's going on with my gig, man, where like they want us to do less work. Like before it was like, yo, man, we want y'all to go out here and kill it. Now they like, nah, man, you know, because if y'all do more work, we got to pay you niggas. And some of you motherfuckers is at top pay. We don't want to pay that overtime, this, that, and the other. So they've been really pulling back on the overtime. But I've been at my job long enough to know, that every year around the holidays, management always seems to have like fucked up something and they want us to like kind of pull them out of it. So they start offering us everything. They throw the fucking kitchen sink at us and all the monies in the world for us to finish up what they were supposed to be having us do over the course of the year. So in the event that the show slowed down, it's because your man Spann is out there trying to get to the bag, man. Real talk. I got bills to pay. You know what I'm saying? This shit ain't free, man. You know, your man Spann pays for this shit ain't free, baby. So I got to get out here and get it. But yeah, man, it's been real slow at my job, man. So I've been having a lot more time to like just kind of sit and think about shit. I've been reading stuff. I've been on the social media. I've been like, you know, on the Blue Sky and on the Threads and on TikTok and stuff like that. I've been listening to y'all. I've been reading y'all, man. It's a lot going on, man. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of that stuff, right? Now, we do have some listener feedback from the last couple episodes that we did. So I'm going to go ahead and address some of our listener feedback. We got a comment from episode 58 on Spotify. My man James wrote in to say, Stephen A. Smith talks like an idiot when bashing Michelle Obama and Oprah Winfrey. That, very ironically, he sounds like Jason Whitlock. Much like Jim Brown, black men like to put their manhood before blackness in a misogynoir fashion. And to that, I will say,
what the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn! Fuck!
And that's not aimed at you though, but it's aimed at the frustration that comes from when brothers come out here and they act in that sort of fashion, brother. But no, man, the whole thing with Stephen A. Smith, and like I said, we talked about this on episode 58 when he came out. Apparently, everybody was giving their post-election analysis of what was going on with and why Kamala Harris lost and everything. And Stephen A. Smith came out and he was bashing Michelle Obama and Oprah Winfrey, saying that they were, alienating voters by saying that you were against them if you voted for Donald Trump and everything. And it's like, yeah, nigga, that's the fucking truth, right? But the other part that I thought was very interesting about his critique of them was that, there were times where Stephen A. Smith was having someone like Roland Martin on the show articulating exactly all of the things that would be detrimental to the black community if we were to go down the rabbit hole of having Donald Trump become president again. And Stephen A. Smith was all about listening to Roland Martin when it came to that. He would even defer to Roland Martin and say, hey, bro, I know you know more about this than I do. So therefore, I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to have my listeners listen to you because you know more about this than I do. And there was nothing that former First Lady Michelle Obama or Oprah Winfrey said that was anything different than what Roland Martin had been saying to him the entire fucking time. So for Stephen A. Smith to get on this podcast and then call himself admonishing the former First Lady and Oprah Winfrey for them rightfully articulating that, yeah, man, like a vote for Donald Trump would be a vote to take rights away from them, and saying that they were alienating voters. Like, no, nigga, they were telling the fucking voters the truth, bro. And unfortunately, so many people have been inundated with so much misinformation and so much disinformation that it's to a point now, man, where, that toothpaste is out of the tube now. So we got to figure out ways in which we can counter the amount of disinformation and misinformation. And like how we do that, though, is going to take a Herculean effort, because we're going to talk a little bit more about like how much misinformation and disinformation is being disseminated and how people are consuming it. Right. So we got that going on, but I appreciate you, James, for writing in, brother. Thank you so much. We got another comment here. This was left on our YouTube channel. This was on episode 59. Reggie writes in, he says, hey, Spann, I know you said you wouldn't be making a habit of doing this, but the only reason I even know about that My Expert Opinion show is because you talked about them here. Did you manage to see the clip of them talking about the Nazis in Ohio and how the host of the show didn't want to hear anything about how those dudes could be linked to Trump? He even suggested that he even suggested that those might have been FBI agents posing as Nazis to sow more division in the country. Did you catch that? I did catch that. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like I said, I don't want to make a habit out of like just watching, other podcasters and critiquing what the fuck they saying over there and everything else. I think the point that I was really trying to make with that was that like that is a podcast with a very large platform. It is a hip hop, it is a hip hop geared podcast. It is targeted towards, the hip hop crowd. It is targeted towards, if we're being frank, man, it's targeted towards a lot of young black men are listening to this shit, right? And so one of the things I think is dangerous is that, like, although, black men did not in large numbers vote for Donald Trump, there was a little bit of an uptick, and is becoming one of those things when we talk about misinformation and disinformation, when they're getting their misinformation and disinformation from avenues that they trust, then, that becomes a problem, right? And so I think that it's important upon us, for those of us who are in the space, to call that shit out when we see it. And so, yeah, I saw that shit, man. Like I told y'all, like when this, there were inklings of those dudes being, especially what's that dude, Math Hoffa. There have been inklings of him being a Trump supporter for a while. He never actually came out and said the shit until Trump won. You know what I'm saying? But he had been like, he was trying to couch his shit. I guess he thought he was being clever and saying, you should vote for the policies, despite the fact that he never articulated not one fucking policy whatsoever. Right. And then he's got the other guy on the show who, there's some dude who always this is other dude like who had been working with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and he swears up and down, man, that that Republicans are now acting as like how the Democrats used to, and it's like, nah, bro, y'all are being played. And I really do hope that at some point the audience starts to recognize how they're being played. Right. And so when we were talking last week about how the misinformation and the disinformation gets disseminated, and how a lot of folks just don't want to be wrong, bro. They don't want to admit to being wrong. They don't want to like they see that as a weakness. And so it's going to be interesting to see, like, what happens with that fan base, whatever. I'm not going to really be keeping track of that sort of shit, but just know that, like, I know that if I was to watch any interview on there and they do start talking politics, not to really pay much attention to anything that, like, the main host, who was Math Hoffa, and that other dude in the red cap, like, and it's not even a MAGA hat, but like, I know there are at least 2 Trump supporters on that podcast. And not to pay any attention to anything these motherfuckers are saying and take it seriously, because it's clear that they don't know what the fuck they talking about. And the one dude on that show who does know what they're talking about, to some degree, hold on a second, I'm sorry, but the one guy on that show who does know a little bit of something, like, he doesn't really push back as much as, you would hope for a nigga to push back. Like, yo, man, that's bullshit. I would hope, and they try to talk him down, but that is what it is, man. Like, my whole point in even doing that was just showing, hey, this is how that misinformation and disinformation gets disseminated to some of our young men who are looking for vehicles where they can look up to someone who's talking the shit, and they see someone successful talking the shit. But, unfortunately, if they're not in tune to what the politics are, they're getting their politics from shit like this. And so I think it was important for us to, like, kind of acknowledge and point out, what that was. But thank you, Reggie, for writing in. Appreciate you, brother. And I hope to hear from you again soon, man. Real talk, man. Now, I do have like a couple random thoughts, right? So, one of my random thoughts was, because, y'all know, your man Spann watches a lot of YouTube, man. I watch a lot of YouTube. And one of the things about watching YouTube is that, like, everybody's got the clickbaity titles and shit, right? And not even the clickbaity titles. Sometimes they got the clickbaity thumbnails too, right? So, like, say for instance, there's a couple channels. I'm gonna just call these motherfuckers out. Yoki Stirrup, right? For those of you For those of you who may be familiar, if you are into guns, you know who Yoki Stirrup is, right? Yoki Stirrup is a YouTuber out of I think she's from Miami, and she shoots guns, man. And she's got all kinds of guns. Like her gun game is like immaculate, right? She be out here like blasting some shit. But also, Yoki Stirrup knows when it comes to that thumbnail, that ass got to be in that thumbnail, bro. We got to stop falling for the ass in the thumbnail, bro. I know she's nice to look at. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop falling for the ass in the thumbnails, man. Oh my God, man. Like every fucking thumbnail for a Yoki Stirrup video, it could be a legitimate fucking video about, hey man, do you want to use a pistol caliber carbine? And how can you use this pistol caliber carbine for home defense? Hey, but also look at this ass, right? Look at this ass. Like, man, it is crazy. That ass is crazy. It's crazy. But we got to stop falling for that bait, brothers. We got to stop falling for that. I need us to be strong. I need us to be strong. And y'all listening to me like, who is this nigga?
Who are these niggas? We need to stay away from these niggas.
Y'all listen to me right now like, who is this nigga? And we need to stay away from him. But nah, man, I'm just saying. Stop falling for the fucking clickbait titles and shit. But also on a serious note, the clickbaity titles, man. Have y'all noticed how many, like, especially if you're like on, like, and I'm sure this isn't just like left leaning. I'm sure it's on the right wing too. But like when you go to these political commentary videos and everyone is like situated, like they always frame it as though, yo, such and such obliterates such and such, or such and such eviscerates or humiliates. It's like, come on, bro. Like, and then you watch the video and like, I mean, I guess they disagreed and shit, but it wasn't all like that though, bro. Like, I mean, they just said, hey, I disagree. And nigga, you got me with the click though, right? Because I came in here looking for an evisceration. I came here looking for some humiliation. I came here looking for some obliteration, and I ain't get none of that. I just came out like, man, this some bullshit, bro. I could have been watching something else, you know? But yeah, man, that's it. That's all the random thoughts that I had, man. I didn't really have a whole lot, man. My man Peanut is in the chat room. He says, we must be strong, my brothers. Yes, man. We got to be strong against that ass. Because I ain't going to lie, man. Every time I see a Yoki Stirrup video, I'm like, I mean, I really do want to see about this motherfucking Glock 15, but that ass. Right? It's crazy. It's fucking, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know what works. I'm sure I'm sure she doesn't work a job at all anymore. I'm sure the whole fucking YouTube channel is like, let's see how many, I'm talking shit. Let me see. Yoki Stirrup. Let's look up Yoki Stirrup and see how many YouTube subscribers she has. Hold on a second while I do this. Yep, look at that. I ain't even had to put a whole name in there. Check this out. Okay. So Yoki Stirrup has 1.45 million goddamn subscribers, man. And I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about. For those, I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about, man. So look at. So like a lot of the let's see, like the thumbnails, bro. So like let me see. Like did I add it? No, I didn't add it. Damn it. I'm moving too fast. Spann, you're moving too fast for the fam. All right, so let's see. All right, so y'all see this here, right? Let me go ahead and maximize this so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about here. But y'all see this, right? Come on, man. She out here cooking the gumbo collard greens and shit with the hot shorts on. You know what I'm saying? With the AR-15. Well, hold on. With this video, she got a what now? A Springfield Prodigy D5-inch pistol. See, yeah, man. She know what she doing. Come on, man. Look at this. Look at this. She be out here cooking and shit, but then wait, this is mother shit. This ain't Yoki Stirrup. I said I want the Yoki Stirrup stuff. So let's go, hold on. Let's go to her channel, because this is latest from. But let's go to her channel. Okay. So, videos. All right. But y'all see this, right? Y'all see this. Y'all see this? It's ass all up and through this. It's ass all up and through this, man. Look at it. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. Look at this. No, but seriously though, man. We got to be stronger, fellas. We got to be stronger. We got to be stronger. But yo, yo, we got that going on, man. Real talk. But yo, man. So let's see what else we got going on here in the world, man. Oh yes. We got this going on. Y'all niggas was really out here watching that goddamn Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. Nigga! What the fuck is wrong with y'all, man? The fuck is wrong with y'all, man? I mean, in a week where we just got the Orange Menace reelected, we go ahead and do some dumb shit and like, yo, really get behind a fight that was nothing but some fake shit. There was nothing real about this fight, man. There was nothing ever going to be real about that fight. Now, I know some of y'all going to justify y'all shit. Y'all going to say, well, I'm saying, the undercards was hard, though, bro. The undercards, man, those were real fights. Y'all don't give a fuck about them undercards. Y'all didn't watch that there. Y'all didn't pull that shit up for the undercards, man. Y'all pulled that shit up because y'all wanted to see a goddamn 58-year-old Mike Tyson fight a fucking 31-year-old YouTuber who goes out here and fights tomato cans to make himself seem fucking relevant. And to me, I'm just like, not me. Y'all ain't gonna get me. I'm not patronizing that shit. But some of y'all, man, y'all disappointed your boy. Y'all really did, man. I was looking at some of y'all like, As a matter of fact, I was in my house more so like,
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
What?
Fuck!
I was like that because I was trying to watch the Menendez brothers. And so many of you motherfuckers was out here trying to watch that goddamn Tyson fight against the tomato can, against the YouTuber, that even the Menendez brothers shit wasn't even streaming right. Okay? So I'm mad at y'all niggas because I was trying to watch the Menendez. Fuck that Tyson fight. Fuck that damn Jake Paul nigga. Fuck all of them. I mean, because, like, let's keep it a buck, man. Like, y'all really thought that 58-year-old Mike Tyson was just going to go out here and be like 1987 Mike Tyson? Did y'all really have that expectation? That's what happened? Y'all was really on that? Come on, bro. Come on, man. Y'all could have been serious about that. Y'all couldn't have been serious about that, right? But also, yeah, man, like, this is one of those things where I was mad because I wasn't trying to watch that fight. I didn't want anything to do with that fight. I didn't want anything associated with that fight. And yet and still, I was inundated with images from that fight. One of those images that I was inundated from that fight was you niggas kept getting on social media and showing Mike Tyson's ass and just... Nigga! I wasn't here for it, bro. Like, I could have went my whole life and like not seen Mike Tyson's ass, but y'all would not let me do that. Y'all would not let me do that. I could not I could not live my life and not have never seen Mike Tyson's ass because y'all made sure that everybody seen Mike Tyson's ass. Like, hey, can y'all believe it? Mike Tyson's ass is on Netflix. Let me take a picture of this shit and put it on the social medias. No, you could have just left it where it was, bro. I ain't had to see that. I was cool. I ain't had to see that, man. And but y'all insisted though. Y'all insisted on putting that shit on your boy, man. The other part was like the interesting thing about it is that like there's a lot of people who really hate Jake Paul, right? They really want Jake Paul to like take a L. They want Jake Paul to get knocked the fuck out. And Mike Tyson was their opportunity to see Jake Paul take that L, right? But like one of the things that I think is interesting about it was that both Jake Paul was a big Trump supporter. And I know some of y'all wanted to see Jake Paul take that L. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know he's a Trump supporter. Y'all know he's an obnoxious piece of shit. Y'all wanted him to see to take that L and everything else. But I think some of y'all forgot that Mike Tyson is a Trump supporter too. There was no way in hell I was watching that shit. No way in fucking hell. I'm like, so like, even if Mike Tyson had have knocked out Jake Paul, like I wouldn't have got no satisfaction out of that. I mean, that just means one Trump supporter knocking out another Trump supporter. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of y'all was trying to flame this shit as, you wanted to see this old black man put down this young white boy when the young white boy was giving this old black man a money opportunity because Mike Tyson, 9 times out of 10, needed the fucking money. Mike Tyson or something. I was watching one of these prominent YouTubers saying, you know, like Mike Tyson's acting like he needed money. I'm like, nigga, Mike Tyson always needs the bread. Mike Tyson has always had money troubles, right? So, interestingly enough, though, Mike Tyson came out, he made a statement, and I'm gonna read a little bit from this statement. We get this here from Yahoo. It says, Mike Tyson's recent boxing match against Jake Paul has sparked widespread attention. The former heavyweight champion shared his thoughts following the high-profile match. Tyson's statement has made waves on social media, with many curious to know what he said in the aftermath. Here's more about Mike Tyson's statement after his defeat against Jake Paul. Mike Tyson, a former heavyweight boxing champion, opened up about his recent fight with Jake Paul after a unanimous decision loss on Friday night. Despite the defeat, Tyson expressed gratitude for returning to the ring and described the experience as a personal win. The 8-round match in AT&T Stadium in Texas marked Tyson's first professional bout in nearly 20 years. So again, this man ain't been in the ring in 20 fucking years, bro. And y'all really thought, I think the YouTube, not even so much the YouTube, I think the reels of people have been watching over the course of some years, man. Like, we've been seeing the TikToks and the Facebook reels and the Instagram reels or whatever of him like sparring with a, with my man with the pads and shit. And people like, yo, man, Mike still got it. Like, Mike ain't, like, those are short bursts, bro. They're short bursts, like short bursts of activity. Mike ain't still got it. Mike ain't had it for a long time. But y'all fell for that shit. It says, Tyson shared details of a serious health scare earlier this year, revealing that he nearly died in June. He underwent 8 blood transfusions, lost 25 pounds, and endured a challenging recovery. Had to fight to get healthy, so I won. Had to fight to get healthy to fight, so I won, he explained. Highlighting the emotional impact of the night, Tyson added, to have my children see me stand toe-to-toe and finish 8 rounds with a talented fighter half my age in front of a packed Dallas Cowboys stadium is an experience that no man has a right to ask for. Jake Paul, who is 31 years younger than Tyson, claimed victory in the match, but responded warmly to the boxing legend's post. I love you, Mike. It was an honor. You're an inspiration to all of us. Though the fight didn't live up to the expectations of the fans, Tyson's journey back to the ring lasting impression. Yeah. It was bullshit. It was bullshit, bro. And I wasn't about to watch this old man fight this young dude, bro. Even the fucking YouTuber, man. Even the YouTuber. Y'all, there was no way in hell y'all was getting me to watch that shit. No way in hell. We got one comment here. Sister Samantha says, I am guilty. Oh damn. Oh man. Hey. We want so much more for you, sister. We want so much more for you. But yeah, man, there was no way in hell y'all was getting me to watch that fight, man. Come on, bro. I am not doing anything to promote or advance Jake Paul, man. Real talk. Like, I get it, man. Like, sometimes I be on like, even with Floyd Mayweather and shit, right? Like, I was not like, I wasn't paying to watch a Floyd Mayweather fight. Like, yeah, that's just me though, bro. Like, my principles be getting in the way of so much fucking shit. I swear to God, man. My principles be like, man, shit, like, I can't fucking do it, man. But that's just me. I'm not, listen, real talk. If you enjoyed the fight, more power to you. I love that for you. I really do. And I'm not saying that with any shade whatsoever. I really do love that you enjoyed what you saw and everything else. But for me, nah, wasn't happening. I'm mad. Like I said, I am mad that the Netflix was being bogged down so heavy that I couldn't watch motherfucking the Menendez brothers and shit. So fuck y'all, man. Fuck y'all. Y'all fucked up the Menendez brothers for your boy that night. So we got that going on, man. Real talk. Now, so another thing we got going on, this is a little bit more on a more serious tip, right? Oh, wait. No. Let's not go to the serious route yet. We're gonna stick to the sports right now. So LaMelo Ball, he been balling for the Charlotte Hornets this year, man. I know he was hurt for a little bit last year, man. He was out, he was out for a long time and shit, you know what I'm saying? LaMelo Ball, you know what? Like, listen, he's been the best of the Ball brothers. He has been everything that they have advertised and everything else. I am glad that his daddy is out of the motherfucking way so we can just appreciate the talent that some of these ball brothers got. Like LaMelo has been balling. His brother Lonzo, when he's actually able to be on the fucking floor, can play too. Now that middle brother though, the little thieving ass nigga that they got in the middle, I don't know. I mean, he went and got him a loving hip hop baby mama and shit. You know, he got to figure something out, right? But the oldest brother and the baby brother, they can ball when they on the floor, right? That don't mean they ain't gonna be saying some stupid shit when they ain't on the floor. So LaMelo Ball was fined $100,000 for saying no homo during a post-game interview, man. And it's just like, man,
Who are these niggas? We need to stay away from these niggas.
yeah, man, we get this story here. We get it out of People magazine. It says the Charlotte Hornets star LaMelo Ball addressed his recent post-game comment that resulted in a $100,000 fine from the NBA. Following the Hornets' 128-114 loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers, Ball, 23, told reporters that he wanted to address the comment, which the NBA called offensive and derogatory, in a statement on Sunday, November 17th, before his post-game interview. Before we get started, I just want to address the comment yesterday. I really didn't mean anything by it, and I don't want to offend anybody, Ball said on Sunday per SI, Sports Illustrated, and The Athletic. I've got love for everybody, and I don't discriminate, the Hornets guards added. Ball made the comment during a live interview on the Hornets FanDuel Sports Network after their 115-114 win over the Milwaukee Bucks on Saturday, November 16th, saying, yeah, we loaded up, no homo, but that's what we wanted. In a statement made the following day, Joe Dumars, the NBA's executive vice president and head of basketball operations, said the Ball would be fined $100,000 for the offensive and derogatory comment. Hornets coach Charles Lee was also asked about Ball's comment after the loss to Cleveland on Sunday. Lee, who's 40, said, as an organization, that is obviously not something we condone, and told reporters that the organization's standards for the environment created by players is really important. Now, I'm going to just say this here right now, man. One of the reasons why I think LaMelo felt so comfortable saying something like this is because of how we treat this sort of lingo, right? So I want to say it's been a couple weeks now since the last when I talked to y'all about how we stumbled upon like some of my grooming habits, right? And we were talking about this at the job. And the fact that, you know, I mean, shit, it's yeah. So the fact that I shaved down there and it came up at work became a thing where like people were like, yeah, I don't know what Spann doing after he get off of work, man. I don't know this nigga like that. And like also like, yo, man, like, you know, that even being construed as being gay because of what my grooming habits were. Not that I was actually out here, you know, desiring men or anything like that, or not that I was out here promoting that like, yo, man, because you do this, you like dudes. No. People were at my job, saying no homo, no diddy, pause, and all these other things, right? And they see it as harmless fun. A lot of dudes see this shit as harmless fun. They don't think that they're being homophobic, and if you explain to them why it is homophobic, they're going to push back on it 100% because they don't want to seem as though they're being homophobic, despite the fact that they are being homophobic. It's almost in the way in which when a white guy says something that is racist, and yo, he doesn't want to be seen as racist, despite the fact that everything that this motherfucker might have just said was racist as hell, right? Nobody wants to be painted with the brush of being racist or homophobic, right? Despite what their actions may be, they don't want to take responsibility for that. And so what this highlighted is just how casual the homophobia is for so many, right? Well, this young dude was in an interview, a post-game interview with I think it's probably like a local affiliate. He's in this interview and he says this homophobic thing and he's not even thinking about it. Hadn't even crossed his mind. He's not talking with the homies. He's talking with the public. Hadn't even thought about it. Right? That is how innocuous they think that is, despite the fact that it is very fucking homophobic, right? And so you compound that. You compound that with the amount of entertainment that some of these young dudes are taking in. And all of the things that are targeting them to where they're like, they feel like they're being oppressed because they can't say what they want to say because it's going to offend somebody. And so now they are like, they pushing back on that. This is part of the reason why some young men are enamored with the idea of a Donald Trump, because Donald Trump gets to say whatever the fuck he wants to say and get away with the shit, right? Donald Trump been out here saying some wild shit for a long time. Donald Trump been out here doing some wild shit for a long time, and this nation elected him president again. So a lot of these young men are looking at him and looking at the idea of having to, like, you know, kind of police themselves in a way that that takes into account that other people may feel differently than they do, and they take offense to that, right? Not saying that that's what LaMelo Ball feels like. LaMelo Ball is like, oh, I didn't really mean anything by that. Like, my bad. You know what I'm saying? And maybe my bad is $100,000 lighter in the pocket. I mean, he's a millionaire, but $100,000 might not necessarily be shit to him. But there's a lot of people who's like, he might have, oh shit, I didn't know, right? But at the same time, we have in our media space, especially, you know, even talking about that podcast we were talking about earlier, man, when that is a prevailing sort of thing that happens on these shows, bro, like people get they get socialized into that sort of speech, and they don't think anything beyond it because they're not around people who that could really affect, or at least they don't perceive themselves to be around those who that could really affect, because they don't know. They haven't asked the question. Now, I'm not saying that LaMelo Ball hates gay people or anything else. He probably doesn't have, you know, he probably doesn't, and genuinely probably doesn't. But that didn't stop him from going on a post-game interview and saying no homo, where no homo wasn't even, like, it's never really required. And like it gets to a point, man, like I said, when I was at work and I'm hearing dudes like, no Diddy, no homo, pause. And like, bro, are you serious right now? Are we being serious? We all grown ass men out here, bro. That ain't required. At least for me, it ain't. We all grown ass men out here though, right? So you got that going on, man. They done find this dude $100,000 for saying no homo doing a post-game interview. So we got that going on. Now, another thing that we got going on is in Congress, man. So apparently Nancy Mace is on a fucking she's on a crusade, bro. So much so that she's asking Congress to ban a transgender congresswoman from being allowed to use the women's bathroom when they get to Congress. And it's just
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. No wonder you get D's and everything.
And she has really, really been on a tangent, man. So we're going to pull this video up so you guys can watch here. Let's see what the fuck Nancy Mace is on, man. Because she's really, she's a piece of work. Let me pull this up so you guys can watch right on with your man's pen. Hold on just a second while I do this here. And, all right. So we got this. And we're getting this from Aaron Rupar on Threads. So let me pull this up. And you guys can watch with your boy. Hold on just a second. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, and I need to...
This effort in response to...
Today and last night for fighting to protect women and girls, it's ridiculous. So if that being a feminist makes me an extremist, I'm totally here for it.
Is this effort in response to Congresswoman McBride's coming to Congress?
Yes, and absolutely, and then some. I'm not going to stand for a man, if someone with a penis is in the women's locker room, that's not okay. And I'm a victim of abuse myself. I'm a rape survivor. I have PTSD from the abuse I've suffered at the hands of a man. And I know how vulnerable women and girls are in private spaces. So I'm absolutely 100% going to stand in the way of any man who wants to be in a women's restroom, in our locker rooms, in our changing rooms. I will be there fighting you every step of the way.
How do you think this?
Today and last night for.
All right, so a couple things here. One of the things I think is very interesting about Nancy Mace is that Nancy Mace is trying very, very hard to co-opt certain language to promote. She's trying to co-opt certain languages, but also to promote bigotry at the same time, right? And here's what I mean by that. If you listen to what she said, she talked about her being a sexual assault victim, right? And one of the things I thought was very interesting about her continued, insistence on I was a sexual assault victim. Not to say that like there's anything, not to say that she wasn't. But I think it's callous, it's calculating, and it's convenient how and when she decides when she wants to express the fact that she was a sexual assault victim, right? The other part about this is that why doesn't she have this level of smoke for the Trump administration, who has, up to this point that we know of so far, nominated at least 3 people who have been credibly accused of sexual assault into the new cabinet? Why has she not have anything smoke for that?
Bunch of fucking weirdos.
But like straight up, she hasn't said anything about Pete Hegseth, who's been nominated for Secretary of Defense, who has paid a settlement to a young woman who accused him of rape. She hasn't said anything about Matt Gaetz, former Congressman Matt Gaetz from Florida, who has been credibly accused of having sex with underage girls. Hasn't said anything about that. As a matter of fact, the House Ethics Committee, which has been led by Republicans, by the way, the House Ethics Committee has been investigating this motherfucker for having sex with underage girls for a while now. Even today, they voted not to even release the report that they had about that. Very motherfucking convenient. But she said nothing about Matt Gaetz possibly having sex with underage girls, being the top cop in the United States of America, right? Or let's not even talk about like the president of the United States or the incoming president of the United States having credibly been not even credibly. What the fuck? This man has been like civilly liable for rape, bruh. Civilly fucking liable for rape. She said nothing about any of this stuff, right? So like all of this comes across as though, to me, it comes across very cynically as a play politically. She doesn't give a fuck about whether or not this new trans congresswoman comes into, like, actually uses the fucking bathroom or not. This is about a political play, right? Especially considering how they know how effective that ad that Donald Trump was running during the presidential campaign, and how they were trying to paint Kamala Harris as an extremist who was going to be paying for transgender surgeries for illegal immigrants and people in prison and all this other stuff. She knows exactly what the fuck she's doing, right? To marginalize a already marginalized group even further. That's all this is about. That is all this is about. And like I told y'all, man, like they are being very fucking deliberate in keeping y'all worried about shit that doesn't really affect much of anybody. This woman produced legislation, or she introduced legislation to ban transgender women from being able to use women bathrooms at the Capitol. She introduced legislation essentially to affect one fucking person. one person. These people are not serious. You know what? I'm not going to even say that. I think these people think that their voters are fucking idiots. And in large part, they're not wrong. In many ways, they're not wrong. A lot of their fucking voters are absolute fucking idiots. To the point where this woman tweets about transgender people using the bathroom in which they identify with 162 times over the course of 12 hours. Bro, it ain't like, come on, man. Ain't nobody, like, I ain't thought about who's in the bath. I mean, like, straight up. Never thought about it. Who's in the bathroom with me? As a matter of fact, I don't want to talk out of turn. So, to the women who are listening to this podcast, have you ever been in a situation in the bathroom where you were concerned about a transgender woman being in the bathroom with you, and whether or not you felt unsafe with that trans person being in the bathroom with you? I don't want to speak out of turn. So, like, for those of you who have felt that way, please write into the show, call into the show, leave a voicemail. Let me know how you guys are feeling about this. Because I feel as though this isn't a problem. That the idea of trans people isn't a problem. But Republicans have made it so easy to villainize these folks that it's very easy for people to get up in arms about a situation that they haven't had any fucking real any real experience with whatsoever. So for those of you who are listening to me, especially like the ladies who are listening to me, please write into the show, call the hotline, leave a voicemail, let me know. Am I off base? Right? Does your man Spann just like, yo, pump your brakes, bro? You don't know what you're talking about. Please let me know. Please. Right? But like every time I see this woman and she's talking about this particular issue, I know it is political gamesmanship. She does not give a single solitary fuck about whether or not women are feeling safe in the bathroom. This is about political gamesmanship. And that's it. That's the end all be all of it. And the fact that like she would use the fact that she had been a sexual assault victim to, in my eyes, it seems as though she's equating being trans with being a sexual deviant. And yeah, that's bigotry in and of itself. So yeah, man, we got that going on. Real talk. Let me stop sharing that. But yeah, man, Nancy Mace is a terrible fucking human being, man. Real talk. A terrible fucking human being. And also, she was on the Breakfast Club a few weeks ago, man. Charlamagne the God had her on there because they home. Like, we went to the same high school and shit, right? Right? Oh yeah, and then you had like Charlamagne the God was like, oh, they used Charlamagne and DJ Envy in the damn ad that like Trump was using and shit, right? And then Charlamagne was like, man, he tried to sue Trump and say, yo, cease and desist. I don't want y'all using my image on these commercials. And yeah, nigga, you said that shit. And they used your stupid ass to promote their agenda. And so now 83% of people really believed what the fuck that ad was talking about. Talk about responsibilities for being on these mics. The responsibilities that come with being on these mics, man. Another thing we got going on, man. So, what we find out is like more people are not like necessarily coming to like mainstream media in order to get their news. As a matter of fact, the vast majority of news influencers on the web are actually conservative men. God damn! Yeah, man. So we get the story here. This comes out of usermag.com. It says that the latest Pew Research report on news content creators paints a damning picture of our skewed information ecosystem. This morning, the Pew Research Center, a nonpartisan research organization, published a deep 122-page report that found that the news influencer landscape skews male and leans disproportionately conservative, creating a concerning imbalance in our online news landscape that could ultimately have profound political consequences. The report is the result of months of research and analysis consisting of surveys of over 10,000 U.S. adults about their news consumption habits and analyzing data from hundreds of news content creators across social media platforms. According to Pew's sample, men dominate the news influencer space by a margin of roughly 2-1, comprising 63% of all news content creators compared to just 30% of who are women. This gender disparity is compounded by the political tilt. 27% of news influencers explicitly identify as conservative, significantly outnumbering the 21% who lean liberal, a gap that balloons on platforms like Facebook, where right-wing leaning influencers outnumber left-leaning ones by a staggering 3-1 ratio. 39% of news influencers explicitly identify as conservative on Facebook compared to just 13 who identify as liberal on the exact same platform. In a media environment where about 4 in 10 adults under 30 regularly get their news from content creators, this imbalance is just inequitable. It is a systemic distortion of public discourse that ultimately undermines democratic values, entrenches conservative messaging, and accelerates polarization. Over the past 2 decades, as outlined in my book, Extremely Online, The Untold Story of Fame, Influence, and Power on the Internet, our media ecosystem has become fragmented and entirely reoriented around online influence. Content creators are directly reshaping how millions of people understand the world, and they largely come from outside traditional journalism. Just 23% of news influencers studied were currently or previously ever employed by a news organization. And so, like, real talk, as someone who's in this space, I am not surprised by this shit whatsoever. Right? Not surprised whatsoever. And part of the reason why I'm not surprised is because I've seen how creators have shifted and morphed depending on where the money was. Now, if your integrity doesn't allow for you to do that, you don't do that. But I've seen people do just that. I've seen YouTubers go from talking about they go from being fitness YouTubers to being fucking conservative YouTubers, and they're talking politics all the time. And then I've seen them switch, back to like, hey, that shit over there is crazy, isn't it? But that's not after, like, that's only after they went over there and made themselves a shit ton of money. And so now they feel like, hey, I got a little bit more freedom monetarily, so I can come over here and be in this space. Right? But the fact that there are so many like YouTubers and news influencers, especially male influencers who are leaning towards Trump, like, think about this for a second, man. Like, we were just talking about that podcast, My Expert Opinion, man. Like, how that allows for, that's not even a news place. That's just some niggas that's talking about hip hop. Unfortunately, they get to start talking about politics and they don't know what the fuck they talking about. But when you start entering into like the political space, the reason why so many lean into the political space on the right is because there's so much money over there to be made. And if you're a black political commentator and you willing to talk against black people over, oh my God, nigga, you gonna be rolling in the motherfucking money. I mean, you talking about money, nigga? I mean, nigga, money. Why y'all think Candace Owens is still over there? I mean, think about that. Why do y'all think Candace Owens is over there? Why do y'all think the Hodge twins are over there? Why do y'all think like Brandon Tatum is over there? To some degree, I think some of them believe in what they're saying, but ultimately, I believe like, yo, it's the money, bro. It's easy fucking money. Yeah, some people might get hurt. Yeah, some people might be, disadvantaged because of the shit that I'm out here advocating. But I got bread though. It's the money that's available to them over there. To be the black voice of white supremacy? Oh, shit. Some of them can't turn that shit down. Right? And that's just like when we talk about black folks. But like this, when you start talking about like, the ecosphere when you start talking about the political ecosphere of like just white content creators and shit, man, like, yeah, it's a shit ton of money available to them over there. Why would they turn their back on that bread? It's life-changing money for a lot of them. Some of that money coming from unscrupulous traders. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They getting paid. And sometimes, man, and this is why every now and again, man, I remember like when we talk about hip hop, right? Sometimes when you talk about hip hop, and you're talking about the quality of the art compared to the commercialization of the art. And you could say that like, Lupe Fiasco is probably one of the better lyricists, that have come across in the last 20 years, right? Somebody might say some shit like that, right? And then somebody else will like try to discount that point by saying, but shit, how many albums did he sell? Because album sales mean to them, they were the better artists. Despite the fact that like sometimes the commercialization of the art doesn't necessarily mean that, the art is better. But when people are validating everything around how much money you made off of it, it's hard to talk to those folks about the integrity of the art and how they stay true to the art and why what they did was transformative and why what they did was like influential and why what they did is probably going to inspire another artist to come behind them. To a person who's only thinking about what the money is, man, shit, Nelly is probably like one of the greatest rappers of all time. And we all know that's some bullshit. Right? Nelly sold a lot. Whole lot of empty calories in those Nelly albums, though. Real talk. Ain't nobody calling Nelly one of the greatest lyricists of all time with a straight face. Nobody's doing it. They're not doing it. And the same holds true when it comes to some of our political commentary. Same holds true. So yeah, they got the numbers, but they talking some bullshit. Unfortunately, when it comes to the politics, though, that shit comes with real consequences. Comes with real consequences for a lot of our people in the communities. And, unfortunately, when you have people who value the dollar more than their integrity, and I get it, man. Like, sometimes it's hard, man. I get it. Like, yeah. It's hard for a lot of folks. But, the fact that there's like more conservative, like most news influencers are leaning conservative doesn't surprise me whatsoever, bro. It's easy to do that. It's easy to do that. So we got that going on. Now, let's see, we got some other things going on. Let's see, we already did that one. Okay, we got this here going on too. So in Oklahoma, man, they are making sure that the kids have Bibles in every classroom in the damn state. And not only are they getting Bibles, but they getting that damn Trump Bible.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. No wonder you get D's and everything.
Yeah, man. So we get the story here. This comes out of, we got a video. This comes out of CNN. So let me pull this video up so you guys can watch right along with your man Spann. Let me do this here. But so they have Oklahoma State Education Superintendent who is imposing the fact, who's making sure he wants a Trump Bible in every classroom in the state of Oklahoma. I think they paid $6 million for them to have these Trump Bibles in every classroom in the state of Oklahoma. Just so y'all know, Oklahoma is, they rank 49th out of 50 states as for education in the entire United States. God damn! Yeah, we got that going on. So let me go ahead and pull this up so you guys can watch right along with your mans. And let's see what this dude is talking about here. Check this out.
As part of his planned overhaul of the federal government, President-elect Trump has repeatedly vowed to abolish the Department of Education. That call has been echoed by Oklahoma's top educator, State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Ryan Walters. He is calling for Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to close the department on, quote, day one. And in the wake of Trump's win, he announced the creation of a new Department of Religious Freedom and Patriotism in the state. Here's some of that announcement.
Hold on. He is announcing First thing first, you can't just like get rid of an entire fucking cabinet level department because Donald Trump decided he was going to create a cabinet level department without government, without the consent of Congress, for one. But then two, you create an entire department within your state for, wait, what did she say that shit was for? Like, what did she say that was for? Hold on a second.
Of religious freedom.
Religious freedom. Religious freedom. Why is it always religious freedom for one religion? Y'all cannot tell me that this isn't y'all Qaeda. Y'all can't tell me this isn't y'all Qaeda, man. Because if this was a Muslim like imam saying, hey, we need to get Qurans in every classroom and we need to establish Sharia law in this state, y'all couldn't tell me that these white people, these evangelicals wouldn't be losing their fucking minds. I know because I've lived long enough to know. We saw how they reacted to the idea of a mosque being built near ground zero after 9/11. They were losing their shit. But somehow, some way, religious freedom is only for the Christians here, right? Let's play this video some more.
And patriotism in the state. Here's some of that announcement.
For too long in this country, we've seen the radical left attack individuals' religious liberty in our schools. We've also seen patriotism mocked and a hatred for this country pushed by woke teachers' unions. We will not tolerate that in any school in Oklahoma.
Okay, so when they say woke, they just mean the actual fucking history. So when I was talking to y'all last week, I was telling y'all, man, like the idea, what they call woke, the 1619 Project really animated a lot of these people on the right wing, right? Because it was basically making them confront the idea that, like, yo, one of the foundations of this country has been slavery and the subjugation of other people. And when they don't want their kids learning about the subjugation of other people, they don't want their kids learning about even when it comes to Martin Luther King Jr., they sanitize Martin Luther King so much, right? Martin Luther King has been deified in his death, but he was very unpopular in his life. They don't want their kids to learn about, hey, my grandma or my great grandma was really against that whole, integration thing. That's my granny in that picture yelling at those kids at the Little Rock 9 that was trying to integrate Central High School in Arkansas. Right? That's my granny in that picture. Granny, how can you explain that? They don't want to have those conversations, man. Much of the shit that we've got going on right now, especially when I talk to, well, not even so much when I talk, because I don't even talk to Trump supporters anymore in real life. If there is a Trump supporters that I know in real life, I've kind of excommunicated those dumb motherfuckers. But when I encounter it online, and they're talking as if the Project 2025 thing isn't real, or when they're talking as though the idea of the Department of Education being eradicated is unreal, or when Donald Trump denies that he has anything to do with the Project 2025, and then he starts announcing his cabinet and he starts naming motherfuckers who was a part of putting together Project 25, suddenly it becomes inconvenient for them to have those conversations, right? But this is happening in a state where these dudes they're really trying to enforce religious doctrine on people who don't ascribe to that religion. They don't do that. But they're going to justify this. And so we're going to play some more of this video.
Walters is requiring that all public schools in the state show students that video, which includes him leading a prayer for President-elect Trump. It's a mandate that several districts have already said they are disregarding. And that pushback comes as Walters is already facing 2 lawsuits stemming from his earlier mandate that schools incorporate the Bible into lesson plans in grades 5 through 12. Last week, he also announced the purchase of 500 Bibles, which appear to be the Trump-endorsed God Bless the USA version for use in classrooms across the state. Ryan Walters is joining us now. I really appreciate you coming on to have this important discussion. As you know, your state's Attorney General's office says you don't have the authority for this mandate to play that prayer video. So what authority do you have to mandate schools to show your prayer video where you also pray for President-elect Trump?
Look, I've continued to hear the gaslighting from the left, and frankly, even from this network, pushing lies about what's going on across America. President Trump has a clear mandate. He wants prayer back in school.
President Trump does not have a clear mandate. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump has less than the 50%. Okay, let's do this and let's break it down so that it no longer needs to be broke. Donald Trump, right now, has a popular vote in America, right? But Donald Trump also has less than 50% of the total of the vote total in the United States of America. Also, as it stands right now with the total vote count, Donald Trump has about a 1.7%. I said it again, 1.7% lead in the popular vote. Okay. I think it comes around, I think that comes out at about like around 3 million votes more than Kamala Harris got. Interestingly enough, when Joe Biden beat Donald Trump the last time, Joe Biden had over 7 million more votes than he had the last time. And when Hillary Clinton went against Donald Trump in 2016, she had over 3 million votes in the popular vote. So to act as though Donald Trump has this mandate, no, he doesn't. He barely fucking won. And I think I think we need to be very clear in how that, how when we listen to these people frame this shit, we need to be very clear. No, he does not have a mandate. He barely fucking won. I think they're really going across it, like getting ahead of their skis when they say he has a clear mandate. Okay, so what was it when Joe Biden won? And what was it when Hillary Clinton had more votes than he did in the popular vote? There's not a mandate there, but they're trying to frame it another way.
School. He wants radical leftism out of the classroom, wants our kids to be patriotic, want parents back in charge with school choice. We're enacting upon that agenda here in Oklahoma. That's what our parents want. Every county in Oklahoma voted for President Trump. His agenda is crystal clear, and we're going to enact it in the state of Oklahoma.
I'm not going to take the bait on what you said about gaslighting from this network on this. I'm asking you a specific question. Where is your authority specifically coming from? As you know, thousands of...
And shout out to Herb, like, I'm not taking the bait on this bullshit. Answer my goddamn question.
People, including parents who signed a petition to impeach you with more than 14,000 signatures at last check, say this is government overreach and you're taking control away from local parents, local school boards and parents over their kids. What do you say to that, and where is your authority coming from to enforce this prayer video to be played in schools?
I appreciate you pushing that left-wing narrative here, but here's the reality.
It's not a left-wing narrative. I'm literally talking about a petition that parents have signed that's gotten more than 14,000 signatures that have raised this issue.
It's pretty clear on religious liberty. The Constitution's crystal clear on religious liberty. I know the left doesn't want our kids to know anything about the role the Bible played in American history. They don't want any of our kids to know about the Constitution. Our religious...
These people are out here advocating for religious indoctrination to your kids and the education system that you pay for, right? He is clearly out here. So keep this in mind. So last week, well, the last time I talked to you, because I'm not sure if it was last week or not. I'm sure it was like probably less than a week. Been out here doing a lot of shows lately. But when I talked to y'all last time, we talked about how they were able to get a lot of people thinking about the whole transgender thing. How they were able to get people riled up about the idea of protecting girls from trans girls being able to play in girls' sports while they were taking Black history out of your kids' curriculum. Notice that this dude is actively talking about, hey, we are out here really trying to promote the Donald Trump agenda about what to do for our schools and how to implement curriculums for these schools. Now, I'm going to pull this down. Okay, I'm going to pull this video down because there's something I need to, there's something that I need to like kind of share with y'all real quick. Just a second here, because there was something I had here. Where is it? Here it is. We get this here from my we get this here from my local affiliate, NBC affiliate here in Detroit. Donald Trump wants to end wokeness in education and has vowed to use federal money as leverage. Let me see if they have a video attached to this. They do not. So I'm going to read this article here instead, okay? So we get this here from clickondetroit.com. It says that Donald Trump's vision for education revolves around a single goal to rid America's schools of perceived wokeness and left-wing indoctrination. The president-elect wants to forbid classroom lessons on gender identity and structural racism. Okay. He wants to abolish diversity and inclusion offices. He wants to keep transgender athletes out of girls' sports. Throughout his campaign, the Republican depicted schools as a political battleground to be won back from the left. Now that he's won the White House, he plans to use federal money to leverage to advance his vision of education across the nation. Trump's education plan pledges to cut funding for schools that defy him on a multitude of issues. On his first day in office, Trump has repeatedly said he will cut money to any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on our children. On the campaign trail, Trump said he would not give one penny to schools with vaccine or mask requirements. He said it would be done through executive action, though even some of his supporters say he lacks the authority to make such swift and sweeping changes. Trump's opponents say his vision of America's schools is warped by politics, that the type of liberal indoctrination he rails against is fiction. They say his proposals will undermine public education and hurt the students who need schools services the most. Okay? This is what he's promised. And so now when you see someone like this dude who is the superintendent in Oklahoma saying he's going to like promote the Trump agenda in the schools of the state of Oklahoma, a school district that is ranked 49th out of 50. 49th. The kids in Oklahoma are already being disserviced by a shitty fucking education system. But then it's made worse by someone with a political agenda to be obsequious and subservient to the dude who's supposed to be president of the United States. This is why, like, when I see people on My Expert Opinion, or I hear people talking about the Joe Rogan podcast, like, yeah. They out here promoting that bullshit, bro. Can't listen to them. Can't do it. They're out here promoting Trump Bibles in the schools, but the test scores is shit. Make that make sense, man. Make that make sense. My man Peter's in the chat room. He says, hold on, let me see. Isn't Texas trying to force religions in schools too now? I'm not sure on that one. But when I get some information on that, I'll be sure to bring it up. But for that one, I'm not necessarily sure, so I'm not gonna say. But yeah, man, we got that going on, right? Another thing that we got going on. So Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough decided they were gonna meet with Donald Trump this week, and they got a ton of backlash for it. I mean, they got a ton of backlash, and I'll be a monkey's bare-assed uncle. I mean, they did. They got a ton of backlash. But I'm gonna say this right now, man. I'm not sure that I understand why they got the backlash, but I also understand why they did what they did. Right? I understand why they did what they did. those people are in direct fucking fire of some shit happening or some harassment being leveled at them politically, professionally, and everything else. Not saying that I agree with what the fuck they did. I just understand it. Right? Now, the interesting thing about Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski is the fact that they have been talking shit about Donald Trump for the better part of the last 7, 8, 9 years, right? But what was interesting, what the flip side of that was, hey man, weren't y'all like kind of real buddy with this nigga when he was running for president back in 2015 and kind of helped normalize the craziness that was Donald Trump back in 2015? And that's why when people see y'all right now and they like, yeah, y'all just reverting back to old fucking form. So I'm gonna pull up this video because they call themselves explaining why they want to reset their relationship with Donald Trump going forward. So let me pull this up so you guys can watch right along with your man Spann. And here we go. Let's see what the fuck they're talking about on the Morning Joes, man.
Today, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that. Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents, and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit. And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. My father often spoke with world leaders with whom he and the United States profoundly disagreed. That's a task shared by reporters and commentators alike. We had not spoken to President Trump since March of 2020, other than a personal call Joe made to Trump on the morning after the attempt on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. In this meeting, President Trump was cheerful, he was upbeat, he seemed interested in finding common ground with Democrats on some of the most divisive issues. And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we? 5 years of political warfare has deeply divided Washington and the country. We have been as clear as we know how in expressing our deep concerns about President Trump's actions and words in the coarsening of public debate. But for nearly 80 million Americans, election denialism, public trials, and January 6th were not as important as the issues that moved them to send Donald Trump back to the White House with their vote.
Yeah. That's all bullshit. I'm sorry. I wish they had got on the mic and said, hey, listen, we have very real concerns that a second Donald Trump presidency could in a very real way affect us personally. Had they gone on the mic and said that, I think more people would have understood and would not have kind of shunned them in the way in which they've been shunned, at least on social media, right? Now, I did read that they saw their ratings tank. People are upset. People are pissed off that they tried to kind of whitewash this entire meeting with Donald Trump and everything else. Because, shit, Donald Trump came on he played this entire meeting as something entirely different. They came groveling back, and they wanted to kiss, the way that he came out with it was they wanted to kiss my ass. And that's exactly why they came down here. As a matter of fact, when it comes to news hosts, they are the only ones that took their asses down there, so far as we all know. Right? But I think what we are witnessing is there are a lot of people within media, and it's not just Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough, but we saw this when it came to the newspapers who refused to endorse Kamala Harris a few weeks ago, whether that be the owner of the Los Angeles Times, whether that be the Washington Post, and many other newspapers whose editorial boards were told by ownership, yo, we're not doing any endorsements, right? Because they thought that, hey man, Donald Trump might become president again, and we don't want those problems. Like, this is a vindictive son of a bitch, and we don't want them problems. And so now some of the more prominent critics of Donald Trump on MSNBC, they coming out on a morning show and saying, hey, we met with him, and why wouldn't you want to meet with the president-elect? And all? Yeah. I think y'all think that your audience is stupid. That's why people are like, wait, what the fuck was that? Now, I'm going to hear, like I said, I'm here to tell y'all, I kind of understand why they did it. Doesn't mean I agree with why they did it. I just understand why they did it. But, yeah, man, it's going to be interesting, man. Like, and this is part of the reason why I believe more and more people are leaving watching mainstream media, and they're leaning more towards independent media, because they don't necessarily have the corporate overlords to kind of like, yo, hey, we don't want no problems with this administration. Y'all might want to clean that up, right? And they don't seem like these two in particular don't seem genuine, especially considering, like I said, we go back to 2015, they were real buddy with Donald Trump. And they helped normalize Donald Trump. Donald Trump becomes president and does some terrible shit while he was president. And then they get on the mic and they say, oh my God, how terrible is he? And then Donald Trump is not in the presidency anymore, but they still, oh my God, how terrible is he? Then he becomes president again, like, oh shit, we didn't think he was coming back. So what's up, homie? It's been a while, man. We ain't talked to you in a minute, man. We might have had some miscommunications, man. We might have had some misunderstandings, man. But, it's all good, right? And in the meantime, the people who listen to you, the people who watch you, like, word. So, yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see how they fare. Going forward, man. Real talk. We got that going on. Let's see what else we got going on, man. I had quite a few things to go across this week, man. Jesus Christ, man. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here. Cause I'm already almost an hour and a half into this shit, man. Jesus Christ. These shows are not supposed to be this long. They're not supposed to be this long. But yo, man, so listen, white liberals are not learning their lessons from this election, bro. They are not learning their fucking lessons, man. Oh my God. It's becoming a thing where it's like, shit. You motherfuckers are really like, y'all are learning all of the wrong things, man. Y'all really are. So, one of the reasons why I say this is because, hold on, where is it? Oh, yeah. So one of the things that, like, I told y'all, man, I'm already like over, like, when it comes to left-wing media on social media, especially like on YouTube, when they say, hey, such and such obliterates and eviscerates and humiliates and all this other shit, when they make these fucking clickbaity ass titles and shit. There was a couple videos, but I'm only gonna play this one, where there was a left-leaning YouTuber by the name of Kyle Kalinske who went on Piers Morgan's show, and he suggested that the next person that should be nominated on the Democratic ticket should be Jon Stewart, running on a Bernie Sanders platform.
Oh man, hey.
Now, on this particular video I'm about to play for you guys, though, this is him, going at another, political pundit, political strategist. What's this dude's name? James Carville. Right. James Carville was one of those folks who was a part of the Bill Clinton campaign back in 1992, going a long time back. Your man Spann was 12 when James Carville was really out here doing his thing. Right. James Carville, apparently, supposedly, according to Kyle Kalinske, admits that the Democrats needed to take on a Bernie Sanders platform when it comes to winning elections. Oh, shit.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Damn.
Enough. Boy, I've been sick to my fucking stomach watching you imbeciles type things. Stop typing. You niggas are stupid.
Yeah. So, I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to play a little bit of this. But one of the things I want to make very clear is that there is a contingent of the white left, white liberals, who are infatuated with the idea of Bernie Sanders. They've never let it go. From 2016 to now, they have never let go of the idea of Bernie Sanders. And one of the things that is infuriating about it is that they always forget that Bernie Sanders refused to incorporate race into why things are the way that they are in the United States of America. Bernie Sanders equates everything with class. He doesn't include race in his calculus, right? In much the same way that now everybody swears that the reason why Donald Trump is the president of the United States or the incoming president of the United States is because of class and people not being able to pay for shit, right? Meanwhile, black people are also dealing with those same economic fucking issues. However, we overwhelmingly did not vote for Donald Trump. And the reason why we overwhelmingly do not vote for Donald Trump is because we as black people vote pragmatically. We never get credit for this. Black people never get credit for this. We vote to mitigate harm. We do not vote for Democrats because we are in love with Democrats. Black people overwhelmingly vote for Democrats in this particular juncture to mitigate harm. And one of the byproducts of that is that when we vote for Democrats to mitigate harm and Democrats win, other people also tend to benefit from the fact that we voted to mitigate harm. Right? But when you decide that you want to turn your backs against the people who are the backbone of the party, it just shows you haven't learned any motherfucking lesson. Y'all ain't learned shit. So I'm gonna play this video, and we're gonna see exactly. I'm gonna show y'all what these dumb motherfuckers are talking about. So let me pull this up. Check this out.
All right, guys. So color me shocked, because here we have something I never thought I'd ever see. I remember I was on a Politicon panel with James Carville, and I made the arguments that I always make. And he was very hostile to the idea of Bernie Sanders being the future of the Democratic Party, or I should be clear and say Bernie Sanders' ideas being the future of the Democratic Party. Because remember, this is the guy who helped run Bill Clinton's campaign in 1992, and he, in some ways, he's the pioneer of the need to run as centrist, as moderate. But James Carville appears to have had some semblance of a change of heart, watching Kamala Harris go down in flames. Now, some of his take and his criticism I don't really agree with. But other parts of it I think are spot on. So here we go. Look at this. This is quite an admission.
I think Senator Sanders has some of a point here. And that is, there were things we could have run on harder that have effect. The minimum wage. it passes everywhere by 70%. I mean, I know that President Biden was for it and Harris was for it, but we didn't put it front and center. What about taxing the incomes over $400,000 and taking that money and put it in a first-time home buyer's mortgage relief fund? I mean, there were things that Senator Sanders would favor that we could have put more front and center. Now, there are a lot of things that are just popular that Democrats are for, and they're popular with every kind of Democrat in the country. They also happen to be popular with independents and even some Republicans. And we should run on a popular thing. A popular thing was not continuing the Biden administration. That was clearly not what people wanted. I think he's a great guy, but people didn't want more of that, and that's what we gave him.
Damn. Never did I think he would ever give Bernie credit on anything. But look, his point is undeniable. When you look at these direct ballot initiatives in states all across the country, including in red states, oftentimes you have very clear progressive issues pass with like 60% or more of the vote. And even in red states, that happens a lot. Raise the minimum wage, paid time off actually passed recently in some states in the last election. And look, I will give him credit for one thing. He was a corporate Democrat triangulator, which I hate, but he was also the guy who gave us it's the economy, stupid, right? And so there is some semblance deep inside of this man. There is some semblance of an economic populist trying to get out. But I don't think he realizes that there's a little bit of a contradiction there between being a corporate Democrat and being a populist. It's hard to marry those two things together. Like, for example, this is a guy who's vehemently against Medicare for all. He's stated that over and over throughout the years.
Okay, yeah. My thing is this, and I will die on this hill until white people, white liberals, white conservatives, white independents who are upset with the fact that Donald Trump is the president-elect of the United States going into 2025. Until you recognize that those around you were okay with the bigotry, with the misogyny, with the racism, with the homophobia, with the xenophobia, until you recognize that those people around you were okay with that, and you point that out as a reason for why they voted that way, I don't want to hear from you. There are way too many people who don't want to acknowledge the racism, xenophobia, homophobia, and whatever else that it surrounds them in their communities. They don't want to confront that, because if they really confront that, then shit, how can I sit at this table with my uncle that I know's voted for Donald Trump and is against my cousin who's gay and wants to get married to their boyfriend? How do I confront my uncle in that way? How do I confront my cousin who has married a woman who was how do I confront my cousin who has married a woman who comes from a family who's undocumented, but he voted for Trump, and now her family may be deported because they don't have all of their paperwork? These are the difficult conversations that a lot of them have to have. But instead of having those conversations, a lot of these white liberals are saying, hey, the focus on all of these woke issues, man, that's where we really fucked up, man. We really fucked up on these woke issues, man. Like we were talking about trans issues. We were talking about DEI. We were talking about, first black woman president, man. Like those things don't really, the cost of eggs is more important than this having the first black woman president. Until you are ready to confront the bigotry that has surrounded you, you don't have shit to say to me that's worth a goddamn. You don't. It's way too many white liberals are trying to skate past the idea that many around them support the bullshit that they are against also, allegedly. And until you admit that, I'm not trying to hear you talk about, hey, this corporate Democrat says that Bernie Sanders should have, we should have been incorporating more Bernie Sanders. This same motherfucker here, let me pull this down, because this same motherfucker here went on Piers Morgan's show and said that Democrats need to elect someone like Jon Stewart of The Daily Show. We need to elect someone like Jon Stewart, but on the Bernie Sanders, with a Bernie Sanders fucking platform. Jon fucking Stewart, bro. Because he thinks that Trump is entertaining. And that people think that Trump is entertaining. You can't take it away from him. He's entertaining. And we need somebody entertaining. No, we need somebody fucking serious, bro. We need somebody serious who's up to the fucking job. And we need an apparatus. We need a media apparatus that is willing to educate and do the hard work of educating the voters so that they know going into that voting booth what they're really voting for. Unfortunately, because of the amount of misinformation and disinformation that these voters are being inundated with, it's going to take a hell of a lot more voices, especially a hell of a lot more voices bigger than mine. But when the voices that are bigger than mine are here talking the dumb shit about, hey, man, let's just go back to this Bernie Sanders shit, despite the fact that Bernie Sanders was totally negating the race equation into his whole fucking calculus. The reason why Bernie Sanders was not the nominee for the Democratic Party wasn't because the Democratic Party was rigged against him. Bernie Sanders ignored the biggest motherfucking constituency in the Democratic Party, and that was black voters. That's why Bernie Sanders never became the motherfucking Democratic nominee. And as long as you some bitches out here trying to ignore black voters, that will continuously be the fucking result. Continuously. So good luck, motherfucker. Good luck. Meanwhile, millions of people are about to suffer needlessly because y'all are out here in this fucking circle jerk fever dream about having celebrity goddamn, presidents and shit with Bernie Sanders' platform. So, yeah, man. This is how I know I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get off this mic, man. Real talk. It's time for me to go. But, of course, before we get on up out of here, I got to remind you guys how to get in touch with your man Spann and let your voice be heard over here. So hit me up at the hotline, of course, at area code 313-288-0485. That's area code 313-288-0485. Leave us those voicemail messages. Of course, those messages will get played here and responded to here live on the show. Follow me on Threads and Instagram. My name on both of those platforms is Mr._Spann. So go ahead and follow me there. Chop it up with your man Spann throughout the week. And if you're on Blue Sky, it's Mr. Spann without the _.bsky.social. So go ahead and follow me there. Chop it up with your man Spann on Blue Sky as well. Follow me on I'm sorry, not follow me, but if you're watching the show on YouTube, man, go ahead, subscribe to the show on YouTube, leave us comments on the episodes on YouTube, like the videos on YouTube. All of that stuff helps, man. All of that stuff helps, and we really appreciate everybody who does that. That doesn't cost you a dime, just a couple minutes of your time to let everybody know why you're rocking with us over here at the Mr. Spann Official Podcast and the Spann Report Podcast Network in its entirety. And it's also when you leave those 5-star reviews, the exact same thing on Spotify and or iTunes, man. Leave those 5-star reviews. We really appreciate when y'all do that, man. Also, go to our store, www.thespannreport. I'm sorry, not there. Not there. The link will be in the show notes, but it's at our TeePublic store on it's TeePublic/user/ the Spann Report Podcast Network. But the link will be in the show notes, so you guys can go ahead, cop yourself some merch, man. Cop yourself a hoodie, man. Cop yourself a coffee mug. It's getting cold outside, y'all. So if you're walking, if you're wearing this, the Spann Report Podcast Network swag, man, take a picture in the swag, man. you know, it helps us in a real way when we do, you know, what we got going on over here, man. Real talk. But I am about to get on the body here. I will talk to you guys again soon. But until next time, fam, peace.